Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Well, the winter storm is almost here that we've been talking about all week. So I thought I'd just show you just a couple of graphics and kind of last minute kind of changes and expectations of this storm. So this is what we call the water vapor satellite. So this is from outer space looking down, and it's showing you where moisture is in the atmosphere. And what I like about this image is I can actually draw on it for you and show you some of the main features. So there's a big area of low pressure in the upper atmosphere. There's this big wave basically. It's this big closed off low as we call it, and it's basically spinning this direction. So this low is forecasted to move across the deep south in this general direction over the next day or so. And as it approaches, it's going to be throwing up all of this warm, moist air over our region. And at the same time, so as that is happening, big high pressure is anchored up here across Canada and New England, and that will be sending cold air at the ground level where we are. So you get cold air we're down here at the surface, right where the ground is, and then you get this really warm air going up over top of that. And that combination gives us all of the ice that we're projected to see over the next 24 to 36 hours or so. So the storm is taking shape. So this is the radar. So you see already there's a lot of precipitation, and this is only going to amplify as it moves east and strengthens. So the first bands of this are across Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and across Arkansas. But again, this is going to expand and move eastward as the day wears along. The models really do agree on the setup, and this is just one of the high-resolution ones here. It shows nothing going on this afternoon, although you will notice the winds shifting out of the north. The temperature will start decreasing, and it's going to get drier out as we head through the day as well. Most models have the precipitation starting around this time, which is around 3 or 4 in the morning, starting off, as a little bit of light snow, maybe a little touch of rain at the very start, but quickly transitioning to snow. You can see there across Mecklenburg County it's snowing. And we'll have snow and sleet for maybe a handful of hours, but we quickly transition into almost all sleet by around 7 a.m. So we might get a quick burst of a coating to an inch, maybe even 2 of snow, but it's going to quickly transition to sleet. And it should sleet for quite a few hours before you see this orange band moving through, which is freezing rain. And the one difference that the models have made over the last 24 hours is they've pushed this band of freezing rain farther toward the north and west in most model guidance. So the warm air is making a little bit farther of a push towards the north and west, which often happens as we get closer to these systems. So what does that mean for our area? It means that the I-85 corridor will be in the freezing rain zone for longer. So this is about noon or lunchtime tomorrow. You see we're socked in with freezing rain. So what that means is it will be raining outside, and it's only going to be about 29 degrees. So all of that rain will turn to ice all over everything, the trees and the power lines and cars and your house and everything else. And it looks like that freezing rain continues for much of the early to mid-afternoon before it finally winds down as maybe a little bit of light rain, and then eventually as that upper low moves over us, changing back to snow. And then our temperatures are going to go down into the 20s tomorrow night into Monday. So anything that's out there is going to freeze. So what are we thinking? So kind of final totals, and this will be my final video because now the models aren't really very helpful. It's just going to happen, and we'll just have to see which models were correct. The thinking though, and I keep seeing everybody's showing snow totals and saying, oh, the snow totals have gone way down, and that's true, they have. I think we're only going to see 1, 2, maybe 3 inches of snow or sleet. The farther west and north you are, so Huntersville to Gastonia, the more snow and sleet you'll see. If you're down in Ballantyne, the less. But the big story, I think, from this system is not going to be the snow and the sleet. It's going to be who sees the most freezing rain, which is ice. This is the latest European model's projection of accumulated ice, and that has upwards of 0.8 inches across the area. Now, who knows if this is correct? I mean, this is just, kind of paintbrushing this across here. But I think there's going to be a wide swath of people that you can see these 0.5s, kind of in an axis from Greensboro down the 85 corridor through Charlotte into the upstate of South Carolina. And that is going to be the big story from this storm. It is not the snow and the sleet. It is going to be ice, ice, ice. This is the ice that sticks to everything. This is what droops all the trees down and breaks power lines and whatnot. And so just be aware that when we get ice greater than 1/4 of an inch, that's able to bring down tree branches and power lines. Greater than 1/2 an inch causes pretty much widespread power outages and tree damage. And if you get more than half an inch of ice, like some of these models are projecting, it can be a really destructive type of storm. So we haven't seen ice like this in the Charlotte Metro in many, 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 many years. So my word of caution is just driving is going to be terrible tomorrow, into tomorrow night, into Monday morning. Will be really, really difficult. So just I wouldn't plan to go anywhere. And then 2, plan for a prolonged power outage. That's very possible if we get these levels of ice that we'll see pretty much widespread power. I saw Duke Energy is bringing crews from all over the region, from Florida up into the Midwest are coming to Charlotte and the Charlotte area. They've brought in 2,500 new workers and whatnot to help restore power because that's what they think is going to happen from this storm. So just keep that in mind. So this is not going to be a snow and sleet storm. So if you think, oh, I'm going to get all this snow, that is not going to happen. It is mostly going to be sleet and freezing rain. The hope is, from a meteorology side of view or point of view, is that most of this falls as sleet. The little ice pellets that don't really stick to much. They make travel difficult, but not the freezing rain. Hopefully that's what we get. But most indications are now, though, that the Charlotte Metro is going to get a lot of freezing rain. So just be prepared for that. This is my final video because now we just kind of sit back and wait and see what's actually going to happen. So be safe out there, be prepared, and I will see you all later.